So thanks, John. Hello, everyone. My name is Courtney Daugherty, and I have the pleasure of introducing our first inductee into the Hall of Fame tonight, Miss Shelley Gibney. This is a person who is very close to my heart for a number of reasons, so I'm very honored to have the privilege of introducing her tonight. Shelley is getting inducted tonight not only for her accomplishments on the soccer field, but also for being an outstanding track athlete here at Stockton from 2007 to 2010. Shelley and I played together for 3 years on the soccer team here at Stockton, and we were also roommates for 2 years as well. There is not enough time to tell you all of the great things I think about Shelley, so I'm just going to give you some of the highlights from my experiences with her and our time together at Stockton as teammates and friends. I have a quick story about Shelley that I think exemplifies her personality. So it was preseason of Shelley's freshman year, and she and I were rooming together, and I think it was one of the first nights after our initial 2-hour fitness session on the track and then like subsequent 2 to 3 practices later that day, and Shelley and I were just starting to feel the effects of preseason. So in the middle of the night, I wake up screaming because I have the worst Charlie horse in my leg that I've ever had in my entire life. And instead of Shelley being scared or even concerned, she just starts laughing hysterically at me. And then 30 seconds later, because of her laughter, Shelley is now screaming in pain because of the 1,000 ab exercises we had also done earlier that day at practice. So now I'm laughing at her. And I think that went on for about a good hour before we were finally able to calm down and go to sleep. But the reason I'm telling you that story tonight is because to me that really sums up who Shelley is, that when it came to working hard and to playing soccer at Stockton, she truly enjoyed doing whatever it took to be successful, and that it was always so much fun having her as a teammate. Shelley was a phenomenal athlete, and I personally loved playing with her because she made my job in the middle of the park very easy. All you would have to say was, "Shelley, go, run," and put the ball somewhere within the vicinity of Shelley's side of the field, and you knew Shelley would get there. To me, having Shelley on the field and on the ball meant that we were a dangerous team and that we could beat any team on any given day. She was a difference maker. I'm very thankful that she was on my team and that I wasn't on the other side of that field trying to defend her, because honestly, not many people, if any, could. Every team in the NJAC knew who Shelley was, but it didn't matter because no one could keep up with her anyway. Not only was she a phenomenal athlete, but Shelley was also one of the hardest working players and always had a healthy appetite for competition both on and off the field. Literally, if you didn't see Shelley either eating something or doing schoolwork, you would find her working out or doing something to better herself on the field. And then you'd probably find her eating again. But in all seriousness, although Shelley was so competitive in everything that she did, she always maintained her sweet, endearing personality through it all. And I think that's what makes Shelley so special and truly deserving of this honor tonight. So here are some of her accomplishments during her time at Stockton. So for the soccer team in 2009, Shelley was the NJAC Midfielder of the Year. She was a second-team All-Region selection in 2010 and a third-team All-Region selection in 2009. She was also a 3-time NJAC All-Conference selection, and she was a first-team selection in both 2009 and 2010, and a second-team selection in 2007. Shelley is tied for 6th in Stockton history in assists with a total of 23, and she's tied for 9th in points with 69. And lastly, the team made 3 consecutive NCAA tournament appearances while she was playing. For track and field, she was a 4-time NJAC All-Conference selection in the 400-meter hurdles and 4x400 relay. She was the NJAC champion in the 400-meter hurdles in 2008, and she also holds the Stockton school record in the 400-meter hurdles as well. So with all that being said, Shelley, I'd like to welcome you up to the stage and welcome you to the club.
Wow, thank you, Doc. That was truly incredible. I'm so glad that you're here tonight and that you were able to do the introduction. I want to first thank Stockton Athletics, Sean Heck, and the Hall of Fame Committee for inducting me into the Stockton University Athletic Hall of Fame. What an honor it is to be even considered, let alone categorized among the same group as the amazing athletes that are already in our Athletic Hall of Fame, as well as my fellow inductees tonight. As honored as I am to be selected, I can honestly say that I would not be standing up here tonight if it weren't for many other people, and I want to recognize them tonight as well. Of course, I need to first give thanks to God for every opportunity and physical ability to be able to participate in both soccer and track, as well as giving me the most amazing parents that have provided me with constant love and support. As I look back on my athletic career, I realize more now of all the sacrifice that you two have created to give me countless opportunities to pursue my passion in sports. My mom was always my #1 cheerleader and travel buddy. As far back as I can remember, she was at every soccer game, track meet, and awards banquet, giving me constant attention and praise. Through the good games, the bad ones, some long road trips, and some really terrible weather, she was there cheering me on, and I truly appreciate that. My dad, as some of you may already know, had many successful seasons with Shawnee Soccer and accolades of his own. No matter the sport, I would always try to impress him because he obviously knew what he was talking about. And he always referred to me as an athlete. He never said, "You're pretty good for a girl." And if I said to him I had scored 3 goals at halftime, he'd say, "Okay, score 3 more." My parents were the perfect combination of dedication and discipline. I appreciate you both so much in sports and in life. I also want to add a special thanks to my brother for making me the competitive person that I am, and again, my parents for dealing with all our constant quarrels growing up. Next, I want to thank Coach Younger, Coach Curl, and Coach Preston for the opportunity, the guidance, and the perseverance to help me develop and excel as an athlete at this school. I want to recognize Coach Younger, who's here tonight, as the sole reason that Stockton even became an idea in my head. I still remember not being able to keep from smiling after getting off the phone with him and once I committed to Stockton and the soccer program. Coach placed his faith in me early with a starting position as a freshman, and I'll never forget the moment that he told me that I deserved the spot. Anyone can fill the role as a coach, but it takes a special person to step up as a leader and have the ability to elevate the team. I remember my first interaction with Coach Curl as I asked him if I could just walk on the track team. And years later, I also remember his reaction as I told him that I slept through one of my races. All the coaches are incredibly knowledgeable, and it's very obvious how much they invest into both programs. I would also like to take a minute just to thank all the assistant coaches because they are truly remarkable. They spend so much time and patience into the program, and they've really helped me excel individually as well. Next, I want to thank my teammates. I would not be standing up here without them. I feel so fortunate to have had the opportunity to play alongside such amazing athletes and friends. The quality of conditioning and skill level not only pushed me to the next level, but they also made me look pretty good. They made me feel stronger, faster, and tougher than I actually was. There's something to be said about strength in numbers. Soccer is not an individual sport, it's a team sport, and you cannot play it alone. And you may think that track is an individual sport, but it isn't. Just ask anyone that's handed off a baton or heard the roar of their teammates as you approach the finish line, edging you on when you thought that you couldn't give any more. It's in those moments that I cherish most, and the memories are countless. One soccer game in particular that I would always replay in my head was when we played Keene my junior year away at their field. It was a Wednesday night at 7 p.m., and we drove over 2 hours to get there. 7 minutes into the game, we had a lightning delay that ended up lasting 2 hours. Now at this point, most of our spectators had left to grab something to eat while they awaited the game to restart. When we finally got back onto the field, we were on fire, scoring 2 goals right away. Somehow, we ended up going into half, losing 3-2. Coach gave us a very stern and motivating halftime speech, and we came back to the game on fire once again, only to go down another goal, now losing 4-2. Never giving up, we were able to come back and score another 2 goals to tie it up. My parents later told me that while they were walking back to the field, unaware that the game had resumed, they heard my name announced and discovered it was already 4-4. We ended up taking back the lead 5-4, unbelievably then having Kane tie it back up 5-5 and going into golden goal overtime. The game is most memorable to me because I had the game-winning goal. There is no greater feeling than having your teammates and coaches rush to you after the ball hits the net. And more so, there's nothing better than being able to provide for your team when the game is on the line. So after a 2-hour rain delay, 11 goals later, my heart's still racing. We were headed back to Stockton with a W. And I had a 4-hour biology lab in the morning at 8 a.m., learning quickly that life is about balance. In track, my favorite memory was my very last race. Pen relays was always my favorite meet because the atmosphere there is electrifying. We warmed up as always just to end up with a lightning delay. I think my stories have a common theme here. Somehow, they managed to stay on schedule, causing us to miss our one and only race. Or almost miss our one and only race, sorry. We thought that the race had been pushed back, but they stayed on time. The video of this race still makes my heart race because we started things off in last place. Our lead runner went out a little slow, but made up ground, placing us into 6th place, which our second runner got us into 4th, and our third runner brought us into 3rd, tremendously closing the gap between 1st and 2nd place. I was the anchor for this run, and I could still remember my thoughts as I grabbed the baton, raced to the far end of the track, and heard Coach Curl yelling my name the whole way. I still remember the moment where I felt strong enough to pass the other runners to the finish line and setting a short-lived school record as a team. Little did we know, but we had the spectators at home as our Stockton team was watching the race online. The high of the race continued as we returned home and heard the reactions of everyone who had watched the race live. That day was truly unforgettable. So no matter where I am in the world, I don't think that there will be a day when the smell of the crisp fall air doesn't bring me back to gearing up for another soccer season. It still amazes me how much emotion goes into the game and how I still get a nervous feeling every time I step onto a track. Being an athlete has taught me many things, and I believe that those qualities have molded me into the person I am and have developed my skills as a physical therapist today. I am so grateful for my time at Stockton, the unforgettable memories, the lasting friendships, and the opportunity to continue a career involving rehabilitation of both athletes and non-athletes. In closing, I would just like to again thank the Stockton Hall of Fame Committee for this incredible honor, and take the time to thank all my friends and family here tonight who came to support me. Your presence tonight means so much to me, but I also want to thank you for your continued support, even the years before I even became a student here at Stockton. I'm so thankful I can share this award with you guys tonight. Thank you.